Yes.
DQ74, talk about Korea.
Yes, okay.
All right, let's do it.
You ready?
Alrighty, 1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, welcome back to the culcom question podcast, the daily question podcast. I'm Jeff.
I'm Meredith.
Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the questions and topics that I normally discuss at a culcom. What's our topic today, Meredith?
Today we are talking about Korea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that, dude. So let's listen to our opinions about Korea. Okay, number one. What comes to mind when you think about South Korea?
Kimchi.
Kimchi. Yeah, Samsung.
Hyundai.
Yeah.
And Blackpink.
Blackpink. Yeah, so K-pop, K-pop movies. Yeah, so yeah,
Parasite.
I think. How long have you been in Korea?
17 years.
So yeah, I'm at 17 as well.
Whoa,
So
you came in 2007?
I came in 2006, but then I left for 1 year. So it's I came at World Cup 2006. So I've been in the country for a long time. So I think because we don't have that fresh view. But yeah, kimchi.
What else would you think? I think the big parks. They have lots of big parks.
So yeah, but I would say the question says, what do you think about South Korea?
I mean, it's a really big question, though.
But most people I guess the first thing when I was fresh, South Korea, North Korea would be the first thing coming to mind too.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Or war.
Yeah,
Think
war.
about war.
Because also a lot of people still back home ask me, oh, which Korea are you in?
Like, why would you ask that?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, the good one. Okay. Can you read numbers?
So let's tell us about your favorite Korean cuisine, and do you find it most interesting or delicious?
Okay. Well, if it's your favorite, yeah, you find it delicious.
So which one would you find? Okay, I guess there could be two. Like the
Okay.
most delicious one and the most interesting one.
Okay. Let's do it. So, for me, I like chicken. So I guess. Actually, I find samgyetang actually very bland.
That's true, me too.
Yeah, so dakgalbi, spicy Korean stir-fried chicken. So I find that interesting because it's something that you cook right on the table, cooks right in front of you. But I also like spicy food, and it's not just chicken and spicy gochujang sauce. It's also sometimes there's sweet potato in there. There's noodles. There's cabbage too.
Do you prepare it at home?
Oh, I don't prepare it at home. No, I just go to the restaurant.
One of my favorite things to make at home is galbi.
Yeah.
And you can put the ginkgo nuts in there. You can put all sorts of very delicious potatoes, carrots, and galbi.
Yeah.
Just
So
put it in that hot pot.
okay.
Cook it all together. It's very, very good.
Yeah. Can you eat spicy food? Do you like spicy
I'm
food?
from Texas. That's yes.
Okay. Yeah. So galbi, I also like. Wang galbi is also good. So I guess all the Korean barbecue. I like meat.
Yeah, I like meat too.
Yeah.
I actually like all the side dishes.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Mhm.
The most interesting one would be sundae.
I don't like guts though. So I don't like sundae, and I don't like chang, gokchang.
I've gotten to the point where I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. I like that gokdaegi. It's the skin, and you cook it. It's almost like pork rinds, like fresh pork rinds. Very delicious.
Okay, well, let's just jump to the next one. Yeah. So number 3, how do you celebrate Korean traditional holidays or festivals? What's your favorite holiday?
I like to celebrate Korean traditional holidays by making Korean traditional food like galbi during Chuseok, and then I like to make a bunch of the side dishes.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of like something special is happening, and you're also eating very good during the time because all the restaurants are closed.
Right. So So during the restaurant, many of the restaurants are closed. So that's one thing I don't like about the holidays too. So sometime I might celebrate the height of the holiday, Chuseok or Seollal, the height just at a foreign bar because always foreigners we all gather together and I just drink beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beer is a diet.
Yeah. So and then what's my favorite holiday? Korean holiday. Geez. I guess actually Pepero Day, even though it's not a real holiday.
Well, it was Old Farmer's Day.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, and so they used to have the long rice sticks.
Okay.
And to celebrate the harvest and that they have good, it's Old Farmer's Day.
I think someone told you a lie.
No, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Hey, okay. Can you read number 4 then?
What do you know about South Korean history and how has it influenced the country today?
Okay, so I actually, for a bit, like for 2 years on the weekends, I worked for this travel agency that would actually teach Korean children Korean history in English, and we would go around on all these sites, and then we would teach the foreigners would talk about all these sites, and then the Korean children would learn about the Korean history so that they could tell other foreigners about it. So I know if I go to a palace, I know like the Gwanghwamun Palace. I just actually know a lot about the history of that. Just Korean history actually sucks. There's a lot of times they've been attacked and invaded.
Yeah, the Japanese history,
Yeah.
not having anything.
Yeah, even with China too. They were always being attacked. So I think it also built up a strong mentality for Korean people too. And even though they're currently at war with North Korea, it doesn't really affect them. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think that the Korean War in the 1950s is huge influence on Korean culture because that is when you got like some kind of foods like budae.
Yeah.
And also that's when they started kind of absorbing like a Western culture and
Right.
changing the way they dress, in some ways how they eat, maybe bread or chocolate was really came to Korea at that time.
Yeah.
And things like Spam, those were old war foods back in the United States, and now it's kind of a common food in Korea.
Right.
I think that had a big influence on the diet and how people eat and how people dress.
Right. So I think, during Joseon, because Korea was known as the hermit country, there wasn't a lot of development or outside influence on it. But then once with the last war they had in the 50s, and with the foreign influences, like Koreans have really like just taken to grow in it.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like a third impoverished nation, but then you have the miracle of the Hangang River, and now like Korea is like a G20 country.
Right. Yeah.
That's a huge change in 50 years. Number 5.
Yeah.
Yep. What are some unique customs or traditions in Korea that intrigue you the most? Sorry.
I think one of the cool things is the Korean traditional clothing and how people are trying to modernize the clothing to make it more appealing to these days people.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of people should keep their traditional dress and really celebrate their culture and make it a part of their daily lives, and by sort of making it more modern and making it more appealing to these days people. I think that's really interesting how they're trying to work their culture into a more modern style.
Yeah.
And I think that's intriguing.
So you were talking about the hanbok. I actually think the female hanbok is very attractive, and actually I get excited when I see maybe in America there's some Korean celebrity that's wearing a hanbok at a big press thing, and we go, wow, oh my god, that's so cool, and what a beautiful dress. Now the men's hanbok, I think it needs a little bit of work. It just looks.
But there's some designers that are really working on it to sort of make it cool, it can happen.
The male hanbok, it just looks like pajama pants and a vest, a long sleeve vest. What customs? I do actually the hold in two hands. When you receive something, you receive it with two hands to show that's a very polite way.
I like not having to shake hands.
Yeah.
How about you?
During the pandemic, I got into fist bumping, saying hello to people that way. So I don't really care about shaking hands too. But also I hated shaking hands because I was also a kindergarten teacher, and the kids always had dirty fingers. It's always the kid's eating some poke chips, and he's and he goes, "Oh, teacher, do you want one?" And licks all his fingers and hands me a chip. I'm like, "No, thank you, Jisoo. No, thank you." a weird custom that I like, but not a lot of Korean. Like this is how many Koreans know that I'm like I really like is like whenever your leg falls asleep.
Oh, that you have a mouse in your leg?
You have a mouse, yeah, like what Gina saw, and like so how Koreans get rid of it? They lick their finger and then touch their nose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they go. They pretend they lick their finger, make their nose wet, and go meow to scare away. Oh, that's a.
I will try that next time.
Oh, that's a. You can teach everyone that. That's a funny one.
What do you do? I usually just stamp my foot really hard.
Oh, I have bad circulation, so I just go and I just stand until it gets better. Can you read number 6?
Number 6, Jung is often discussing Korean culture. How would you interpret this emotional and cultural concept?
Oh, God, I don't know, man.
I think it's like hospitality.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Like, just always the grandma like giving you more. Or when I think you really feel it when you have a kid because like they're always worried about maybe they're cold or they want to give you something. Especially when you have a kid, you'll just be in the park and somebody will come up and give your kid like a 천원 or a man or candy. They always want to give you something, and that actually is such a big part of Korea that I have culture shock when I leave because people are so kind of like want to do something for you, want to be kind to you. So I feel like kind of it's like hospitality, where my friends are always like, here's some kimchi I made for you, or here's something that I prepared for you, and I think it's that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's like whenever I ask Koreans, I've had to explain so many different ways. So it's like it's such an open concept. Like it's supposed to be love or caring, or you put hospitality. Like I think, when I think about Jung, I guess it's like going like I picture like the Korean tribe and taking care of the tribe.
Yes, like
so,
this
like,
family feeling inside the whole country.
The whole feeling, like, and then like I even like. There was I was listening to a podcast in their interview, and like it's almost like Native Americans. They think of they have the same thing, but they relate it more like to their ancestors, the buffalo. That even when a buffalo, like in a herd of buffalo, if one buffalo is sick or weak, the whole buffalo herd surrounds them to protect them.
Only strong as your weakest.
To make like if there's a weakness, if there's a chink in the armor, it's like protect the other armor pieces, cover that up, so it's not, so it takes care of itself.
Yeah. Which iconic Korean landmarks will you suggest to your foreign friends? I guess you'd have to choose like a city.
Yeah. So, well, I'm from Seoul actually, and
I'm from Daegu.
So, can you talk about Daegu?
I think Daegu downtown is a must-see. It's just lots of stuff to do and lots of cafes, and you can go do some of the amusement parks down here, check the parks, and many kinds of shopping, things to do, photo booths and things like that. Another one would be, going to the mountains and climbing up the mountains. Those are really good.
Right.
Nice observation decks and cable cars, that sort of thing.
So in Seoul, I used to like when I first came, the place to go, people would say like you have to go to Myeongdong, which is like the big shopping district. However, what's happened during the pandemic, during the Corona pandemic, is actually all the shops closed. So it became more of a ghost town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like all the major shops closed, all the small stores closed, there's like Inde everywhere.
Yep.
If I had to, one location actually I tell people to go, and it's not that popular, it's a site called Jeongmyo, which is also a UNESCO site, but it's where the Joseon kings were actually their kind of like their grave, their site. So, but it's very it's not very big, but you just go to these two locations, and it's very tranquil and it's wide open, but it's just
Is it
awe-inspiring.
like the kind of like dome grass?
No.
Where
It's
they put the buried kings?
No. Like so, during I can't remember the Korean name, but like after a king dies, like his soul goes into a piece of wood, so that they can pray to it, and so it's just a lineup of like. One of them is like a lineup of like 20 rooms just side by side, which all the little pieces of wood from the kings, did I? But it's like very awe-inspiring. Like it's very tranquil there too, but it's also very overwhelming. And not a lot of people go there too, so it's not, you don't have like kids running around. So it's not, you know, corrupt. So it's quiet too, so you don't have the kids. But it's very peaceful, and it's actually I like it. Number 8. Are there any Korean words, idioms, or phrases you have found interesting?
I think one of them is like just being 힘들어. Like it's okay to just be like I'm 힘들어, I'm 힘들어. Like it's kind of culturally acceptable to say that I'm tired of everything, and everybody's kind of feel you on that, and they're like, oh, you must be so tired. They sort of, you know, feel your feeling about that, and there's no shame in feeling that you're just completely exhausted of things. Just kind of like, okay, 궁금해요, like they understand you as well.
Yeah.
I think that's different because we can't ever say that. Like we can't ever. Everybody would think like, why do you say that all the time? Like, you're tired. Are you just? Do you need a nap? You know, and like.
Yeah.
But here they're just like, yeah, it's hard. You're working hard, and that's why you're 힘들어. And it's like fighting. You know, you're doing a good job, and they always give you some words of encouragement when you say that or something like that. How about you?
I guess 아쉽다.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't really translate.
That's too bad.
That's too bad. What a waste. Or like, 아쉽다, 아깝다. Like, like it has its own meaning, but what a waste. So it's like, what a waste. Oh, that's too bad. Kind of, but word like that. Can you read number 9?
Yeah. What do you think are some misconceptions people might have about Korea?
So a lot of people back home, there's a lot of things that they think are Japanese that are actually Korean.
Oh, like what?
So first, they're Samsung. Some people think that Samsung.
Do they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like Samsung and Hyundai cars, like they.
Where people used to think it was Honda?
Yeah. Yeah, they think Hyundai is Honda, or like, and also like they also mispronounce Hyundai. It's like Hyundai or Hyundai.
How do they say Samsung? Samsung?
Samsung.
Samsung.
Gangnam. Did you hear that Gangnam Style song? So yeah, like a lot of people like
So pronunciation policy.
Pronunciation, no, but also like a lot of people think they don't realize there's actually like a lot of like Korean influences like in Western culture. It's like some people just have the misconception, they assume it's either Chinese or they assume it's Japanese.
I don't know, these days, man, Korea is just taking over the United States, Korean barbecue, and so many delicious like fusions, like kimchi tacos and things like this. Yeah. I don't know, I think they're starting to lose the other country.
Or the Koreans actually don't speak English that well. They actually speak very, like a lot of second language English speakers, like a lot of Koreans actually have a better accent than natives.
They do. Speaking English very good.
Do you think there's any other misconceptions?
Misconception that people might have, but you would be living in North Korea would definitely be
Yeah.
a misconception that people usually have.
Yeah. Okay, and our last question. K-pop has gained immense popularity worldwide. What do you think about it?
I think it's a really, because one of the reasons the United States is so popular is because of Hollywood and because of their music. And so this is a really great way for Korea to share its culture and to get people interested in Korea is through K-pop. I think K-pop has a very great impact on other people around the world, and also getting people interested in Korean culture, Korean life, Korean food, Korean language, and maybe even making it easier for Koreans to travel around the world because people are already excited to meet them. They're so familiar with the music, and just I think it's great. And I think because K-pop mixes English and Korean, it's just very fun for other people to listen to because they get to learn the foreign language, plus they get to know the lyrics that they're already familiar with in English. So
I think it's very strange that now like K-pop is actually just eclipsed regular pop.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no more regular pop music anymore. All like the English boy groups and girl groups have all disappeared, and the world has just accepted K-pop as the new pop music.
And the dancing.
And the dancing, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that wraps up the topic of Korea. Thank you guys once again for listening. If you have any questions, you could just actually search in Instagram. Just type in culcom, and you can find the local culcom near you. Okay. Thank you once again. I'm Jeff.
I'm Meredith.
And see you next time.